Hello, Bears Nation. Welcome to the Bears News Fan Report, the channel where we bring you everything you need to know about the future of our beloved franchise. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates about our team. Today, we have a question that will leave many of you thinking. Is Tim Patrick the guy to replace Keenan Allen? It may seem like a bold move, but take a close look. Sometimes the simplest answer is the most accurate. Stick around until the end, because this decision could define the direction of the season. The first thing we need to understand is that Tim Patrick, a 31-year-old veteran, is very familiar with Ben Johnson's system. He's the kind of player who doesn't make the headlines, but he has a big heart and an impressive ability to adapt. He's already overcome 2 serious injuries, an Achilles tendon rupture and an ACL injury, and despite that, he still managed to perform well with the Lions. Now, whether he's enough to fill the gap left by Keenan Allen is another story. In 2021, Patrick had his best season with the Broncos, with 734 yards, which is much lower than Allen's 1,243 yards last season. However, it's important to understand that the plan here isn't to replace Allen directly, but to use Patrick strategically. He could be a good addition to the roster, but he can't be the main plan. Now, what would the cost be? Patrick cost only $1.1 million last year, a bargain compared to other big names in the market. However, Chicago needs something more. We can't rely on a veteran to become our main offensive star. That's a risk we can't take, especially if we're talking about a 31-year-old player with an injury history. He's more of a depth option, not the main solution. And what about TJ Edwards? The man who did everything he could on Chicago's defense, recording 129 tackles and showing a lot of courage amid the chaos. But is he really leading? Or is he just sinking along with the rest of the defense? His numbers are impressive, but the defense allowed nearly 25 points per game. Can one player save a broken system? Now, the real question is, should we renew with Edwards now, securing his loyalty at a relatively low cost, or risk waiting to see if he asked for an outrageous raise in 2025? Edwards is nearing 30, and with each game, his market value increases. If he continues to stand out, renewing him could be expensive. And what about Aaron Jones, the player who caused so much trouble for the Bears in the past and who might now wear Chicago's colors? He has an average of 5.1 yards per carry against us and, with 1,100 yards in 2024, still has a lot to offer. However, he's nearing 30, and the history of running backs after that age isn't very promising. What we want here is to take advantage of the best of him without putting all our chips on an aging player. If he accepts a complimentary role, maybe with 12 to 15 carries per game, he could be a strategic addition, but we can't rely on him as the absolute starter. The offensive line, though questionable, needs to improve so that any running game makes sense. And now, Bears Nation, the big question. Would you bet on Tim Patrick as Keenan Allen's replacement, or would you prefer Ryan Poles to invest in a star to maximize Caleb Williams' potential from start? Should we renew with TJ Edwards now to secure his leadership, or risk his market value increasing? And finally, what do you think about the idea of bringing Aaron Jones to Chicago? Comment your opinions now and share your strategies with us. Don't forget to subscribe to Bears News Fan Report for more analysis and discussions about the future of our franchise. Your voice is essential for our team. See you next time, where every decision counts and every fan has their space. As a Bears fan, it's a time of crucial decisions for the future of the team. The idea of bringing players like Tim Patrick or Aaron Jones can generate a lot of debate, and I understand the weight of these choices. In the case of Tim Patrick, if he's brought in as an option to help fill the gap left by Keenan Allen, I think it could be a good move, but with caution. He has an impressive history of overcoming adversity and already knows Ben Johnson's system, which could make his adaptation easier. However, he can't be seen as the main solution for the offense. If Ryan Poles can keep the focus on finding a true number 1 wide receiver, perhaps through the draft or a bolder signing, that could be a smart strategy. Regarding Aaron Jones, he brings experience and skill, but the issue of age and injury risk always looms when it comes to running backs in that age range. However, if he accepts a complimentary role and isn't the main piece of the offense, he could be useful, especially if the team improves its offensive line. The prospect of using Jones to relieve some pressure off Caleb Williams, if he's indeed the QB of the future, could be interesting, but the offensive line needs to improve a lot for this move to work. In the end, as a fan, what I hope for the most is that the team makes smart moves, focusing not just on filling roster gaps, but also on creating a core of young talents that can become pillars for many years. The draft will be a key opportunity to strengthen the areas that need the most attention. Trusting the direction Poles is taking will be an important factor for the Bears' future. The current moment for the Bears requires a combination of boldness and long-term strategy. Ben Johnson's arrival as offensive coordinator brings a sense of renewal, and it's a unique opportunity to define the team's identity, especially in relation to Caleb Williams, who could be the QB of the future. Tim Patrick, as I mentioned, is a smart move to add depth to the roster, but he can't be seen as the solution to the void left by Keenan Allen. The wide receiver position needs more firepower and a group leader who can pull the team, especially if Caleb Williams is the choice. If Patrick comes, let it be for a complementary role, bringing experience and system knowledge, but expectations need to be realistic. We can't rely on him to be the star of the offense, or we risk putting excessive pressure on a player with physical limitations, considering his past injuries. As for Aaron Jones, the issue of age and durability always weighs in. The guy has a history of dominating the Bears while with the Packers, and that alone makes the idea of having him on the roster intriguing. However, we need to be honest. The RB plays an important role, but can't be the foundation of a team that still needs restructuring, especially in terms of the offensive line. The Bears' blocking line needs to be the number one priority this offseason. If Jones arrives, let it be to complement, not to be the main engine of the offense. An older Jones could be useful in key moments, but he can't carry the team. If the offensive line doesn't improve, any running back, whether it's Jones or another, will face difficulties. In the end, as a fan, my hope is that the team stays smart in its moves, without falling into the temptation of bringing players based on name or past performance. The NFL is a game of today and tomorrow, and the Bears need to look toward the future with choices that enable sustainable growth, focusing on the draft and strategic moves that bring in players who can truly contribute to building something solid and long-lasting. Moreover, of course, the defense issue can't be ignored. The Bears' defensive line needs urgent reinforcements, and the renewal of the defense system, led by someone like T.J. Edwards, should be carefully evaluated. Edwards showed leadership, but with an inefficient system, he may just be another hero on a sinking team. If Poles can mix veterans and young talents well, without putting too much pressure on the team's finances, we could finally see the Bears becoming competitive again. To sum up, I'm optimistic about the possibilities, but of course, patience will be crucial. We can't expect an instant transformation, but if Poles continues to build intelligently and with a long-term vision, I believe the path to becoming a force in the NFC North is starting to be charted. I think that if a balance between veteran experience and youth can be achieved, it will be possible to build something solid to compete in the NFC North and maybe go further.